Welcome back to BBB Sharing. I'm Evie, Director of Ignite, sparked by BBB. We are here once again in the Ignite podcast studio, and with me today, my guest is Althea Harrison. Althea, you are from Lovveys World Travel?
That's correct.
Okay, I was wondering if I said it right, but I'm good. I'm glad
You
that
did,
I got it
yes.
out right. So tell me, first of all, I think it's in the name, World Travel. You all are a travel agency, right?
Correct.
So tell me, since you started, I don't know how long you've been doing it, but what are some changes you've seen in the travel agency industry?
Well, some of the changes that I have seen is that people are being a little bit more specific about where they go. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that COVID came and also the different changes that are happening in the travel industry. And one of the changes that are happening is the regulations and the rules about what you can take on the plane.
Oh, yeah.
So people are they're very specific now. It used to be that people would just go to some place, to Paris or something like that. And so with a lot of the government and different regulations that are going on overseas, people are just they're being very, very more specific. But one of the things I do see is that people are traveling more. And the reason they're traveling more is because of COVID. Now that all of that is over with, people have saved their money and now they want to do more European travel. I have people that are going to Thailand and people that are going to Bali, these kind of like relaxation places as
That's
opposed
wonderful.
to European travel sometimes.
Have you noticed that social media plays a big role in people traveling and specifically where they want to travel to?
I do. I really do. Yes. Because if you'll see something on there where they might show waterfalls or they might show, whale watching or something like that. And then we'll get these calls, well, I want to go there. Or like when they did the Maldives and they showed the overwater bungalows. Now it's all of, everyone wants to go to the Maldives. And because of that, the other places, Jamaica and I believe it's another place, they've built over the water bungalows now. So you don't have to go
Really?
as far. Yes.
That's amazing. So it's influenced even more like local. When I say local, I mean like around us, that's more
Yes.
accessible areas to kind of make that shift too.
Yes, like the Bahamas and Jamaica. So now that you don't have to go 23 hours on the flight to the Maldives.
Yeah, that's a commitment. I'm not going to lie. So
Yeah.
when you're looking at when people decide that they want to make travel plans, sometimes it's only for a week, sometimes it's 2 weeks. What are some of the most common challenges you see people make before they come to you?
I think a lot of times if they're doing group travel, they have a hard time of, really pinning down where they want to go. So I think that's a challenge for them. And the other challenge is kids. They're traveling with kids. So they want to make sure that they're not spending a lot of money because they have 3 and 4 kids. And so they're looking for discounts. They're looking for things that are free for children and all-inclusive type things, so they don't have to spend that extra money because they're already spending money if they have to fly.
Right.
And if they can drive to the place, all the better. But a lot of times they can't drive. So we're looking at different transportation options for them. There's a thing that we're doing now where is that we are offering people not just places to go, but we're offering them a way to get into the travel industry as well so that they can save money that way too. Because with IntelliTravel, which is my host agency, we are partnering with people and bringing them into the business so that they can get the other side of the traveling like an agent,
Right.
and they love that too. So I've had some people, if they're traveling all the time, they may as well be making the money for it.
That's true. There are a lot of people when they go into, I know one of my cousins, she was a flight attendant. She loves that she gets to fly for free.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, well, is it really worth all those hours that you have to work? And I'm like, well, I just paid for my flight to Greece to go to my cousin's wedding. And let me tell you something. I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, it's worth it because those are not cheap.
Exactly.
They're expensive tickets. They're
Yes.
expensive for economy tickets.
Exactly.
Let alone premium economy, business, first class, untouchable now. Don't even think about it. Like, It's
Yeah.
crazy.
It is really crazy. And that's the most expensive part of the trip a
Yep.
lot of times is the flight. So we have partnered with suppliers that's within the business that will give us like free flights for us as agents. But like I said, we're trying to get people in the business too.
Right.
So to let them know that if you travel, that you can just not come back with memories, but you can come back with a check.
Yeah.
So that would be really nice. It's nice to have memories, but it's
I
nice
was
to have
gonna
money
say,
too.
that's not a bad deal, because those flight tickets are not cheap.
Right, exactly.
So why would you advise that people go through a travel agency when they do make the decision to make travel plans?
Well, one of the reasons that I would advise that is because a lot of times the regular person, the regular consumer, they do not know all the ins and outs that are happening in that particular country or that particular place that they're
Right.
going. A lot of times they don't know that there's a level 2 security problem going on. And most of all, we cater to them. That's the main reason. Because when you're stuck somewhere and you're calling the 1-800 number and you can't get through to anyone, that's frustrating.
Yeah.
So I would suggest, yes, please get a travel agent because they're the ones that's going to take care of everything for you. They're going to make sure that you have that special place that's catered to you, that you have maybe chocolates on your bed before you go to bed at night, or maybe someone is picking you up, a concierge to take care of you, all of your travel needs, or that bottle of wine in your room that you want to just, sip on once you get there. And no, you're going to check into a hotel that's not going to, you're not going to have all of that. Or a bouquet of flowers because guess what? It's your birthday. And we want to make sure that you're treated special.
I love that.
Yeah.
See, for me, it would be just you guys being a phone call away to deal with my flight issue. Because I've been on that, having to literally chasing my tail and having to make phone call after phone call, running from one booth of flights to the other, trying to get everything figured out. And it's like, why is this my problem? Like, it's the airlines mess up. Why am I sitting here running around like a chicken with its head cut off? So that alone would be my, hey, that's your sign to be a travel agent. But not only that, I do agree that there are the situations where you don't know what's going on in that other country. When I was a little younger, I think I was in my early teens, we decided to do a family trip with my aunt and uncle and their 2 kids to Turkey. We did it for a week. And at the time, my parents didn't know that there was there was a little bit of political upheaval. And we ended up getting caught up right in front of our hotel where the town square was a big political riot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And they were throwing tear gas and beating people and everything.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was crazy. And we were so terrified. But the next day, my dad looked at me. My mom was ready to pack our bags and go, and my aunt too. But my dad looked at us and he was like, nope, this is life. We're going to sit here. We're going to finish the rest of our trip. We're going to enjoy it.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah. So that's I do advise that people, great story to tell, great learning experience.
Yeah.
But I think had my parents known ahead of time, been forewarned, they probably would have been like, maybe it's best to just hold off on this trip.
Yeah. One of the things I did for my family is I wanted to go to the islands, and it was our first island trip. And I didn't know where to go and I did my research. And I wasn't even in the business at that time.
Really?
Right. But I worked for a government entity, and we always had to check in before we went anywhere to, make sure that the place was safe. So that's when I learned about how to go into these different sites and try to find out more about the country and more about the island to see what their crimes were, or was it anything, major that would put my family in jeopardy. So we ended up going to Aruba because I found out that was one of the safest places to go for people that don't live there. It's called the Happy Island. And we ended up going to Aruba. I felt very safe. We explored so many different things. We had a great time. My daughter was about 16 at the time.
That's a good age to start going on exterior, international trips. Yeah.
Yeah. So it worked out really well. And the water was so blue and beautiful, the ocean. And so I loved it. And I've been there probably about 4 times now.
Really?
Yes, my sister just came back from a trip with Aruba with her family and friends, and she had a wonderful time. It's one of the safest islands. It really is. Yeah.
See, a lot of people, so my family's from Greece. And we would go every summer, but I'll never forget one time, one of my it was our family friends from the same town that we were from. Her cousin was visiting. She hadn't been to Greece in a long while. And she had just gotten married. They were newlyweds with her husband. And they had their car packed up with all their stuff. And they were in Athens. They were going to spend the night before they took their flight in the morning. So with the car packed up, they left everything there and went inside to go eat. It's Athens. I do not advise leaving your things anywhere. I don't advise not keeping your hand on your pocketbook while you're walking around.
Yes.
Not necessarily that it's not safe, but your things are going to get stolen. And all of their things got taken.
I'm not surprised. Yeah.
And I just feel like at that point, like I feel somebody, like the adults, should have been like, hey, don't leave your stuff in the car in Athens.
Right.
Maybe not something to do.
Anywhere, to be honest.
Right. Anywhere.
Yeah. Anywhere. Yeah. So
but that was
those are the type of things that, your clients need to know.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that have never really traveled out of the U.S.
Yeah. They don't know what to expect.
They don't know what to expect. They don't know that there's pickpocketers in Paris. They don't know that they can steal everything.
And they're good.
They're very good. They're trained at a young age.
They're really good.
Yes. Yeah. I used to live overseas. Yeah. So, and we were about maybe 45 minutes from France. So we used to go back and forth to France all the time.
Really? Train or flight?
No, we actually drove.
Oh, really? So it was
a 45-minute ride.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, so we could drive from, it was Kaiserslautern, Germany.
Okay.
To France.
Oh, I love
to the border.
That. I love that.
So we could just drive back and forth all the time. I did a lot of traveling overseas when I was there because it's easy. You can catch a train, a bus, or just drive to where you need to go.
Yeah, I know my cousin that lives in Greece. She's like, "Oh, I'll meet you here," and I'm like, "It's not that quick of a trip for me. Takes me a little bit more preparation, a lot more time to get there. So
I just had some friends come back from Greece, and now that you say that, they went on a cruise. I think it was with MSC Cruise Line, and they, just pretty much dialed me up. I booked the cruise for them, and they spent about 2 days in Rome. Went to see the Vatican, and of course, the famous, wall.
Yeah.
the Colosseum. The famous Colosseum. I call it the wall because it's so huge. But and they had a really good time there. So they came back and they said they went to Santorini, Greece, and they went to, what was the other part? Mykonos.
Oh, Mykonos.
Mykonos.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I know. Actually, you're Greek. You know how to say it. Yeah, they had a good time.
Good,
they really did.
good.
Yeah.
I always love hearing what people's perspective is like when they go to Greece, because it's always different from each person, and of course, it is based off of like the experience that they had. Like something went well, something went wrong. But for the most part, people really enjoy going.
They did enjoy it. They did. You have your little things that happen, but, that's just life.
Exactly. If you expect everything to go perfect on your travels, then bless you for being so positive because...
really. Because being a travel advisor and, like I said, some people cannot afford to travel.
Right.
And so we offer them a way to travel by getting into the business with us and, getting on the inside, getting that commission because they're traveling anyway. And one thing I didn't know, and I found out when I got into the travel business, that there's commissions that's built into travel. I did not know that. I did not know that when I booked my trip to the Caribbean and went on a cruise, that I could have come back with money. I had no idea. And I was really upset about it because I kept thinking, I just gave my money away to a stranger when I could have put it in my own pocket.
That's crazy.
That is really crazy. I had no idea. Commissions are built into everything, whether it be a train, plane, automobile, when you rent something.
I think hotel bookings
Hotel
too.
bookings, yes. Cruises for sure. That's where the big money is. And think about it. A family cruise you could take
Yeah.
and come back with a huge commission.
Wow.
Yeah, so keep that in mind.
Everybody listening. So how can people get in contact with you?
Well, they can contact me. My website is altheaharrison.intellitravel.com, or they can get in touch with me at Lovveys World Travel Agency.com. And you can ask questions on there. You can put information in there. And I also have another website. It is Lovveys World Travel.holidays9.com. And then you can go, and that's European travel.
Okay.
That's travel from all over the world. That's world travel. And so you can go there as well. Or you can just call me up at 804-625-4019 and just, talk to me, and we can see what we can do for you.
Perfect. Althea, thank you so much for joining me.
You're very welcome.
Of
Thank you for
course.
having me.
Oh, I love having guests here. I get to learn so many new things. I get to meet so many great people.
You have a
like
great
yourself.
job.
Yeah, I do. I tell people all the time, I'm like, I've got the best job. I don't know about you, but I love my job. But everybody that is watching on YouTube, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment down below. It really helps the algorithm out. And we are BBB Central VA on YouTube. And if you are listening on Spotify, BBB Sharing, please make sure to give us a follow and share us out. Share the love a little bit. You never know what someone might be looking for and learn.
That's true.
Thank you.
Thank you.